What's up, YouTube? Dwayne here with Crow's Nest Broadband. This is hopefully the first of a interesting and productive YouTube channel. I am a certified tower climber. I own an ISP, also known as a WISP, or a wireless internet service provider. I climb towers, work on towers, own a broadband business serving rural customers with internet, and have had a lifelong interest in towers and cellular equipment and cell mapping, and I've been a long time follower of the Cell Mapper group on Reddit, and of course have mapped many thousands of miles of towers in the app. And I wanted to give a shout out to the YouTube channel Upstate Speedtest, which I'll leave a link in the description. Starting a YouTube channel doing speed tests, and I thought that I could bring some unique insight to YouTube and Reddit with my access to many of these sites where we work on, co-locate on, climb on, and of course being and working in the space, the knowledge that we bring with it. So I wanted to introduce myself, give a shout out to the communities that have inspired me to start a YouTube channel, and let's get to the good stuff. All right, we are back and ready for the good stuff. So it's probably fitting that the first tower that we're videoing for our new YouTube channel is one of the strangest towers in central Pennsylvania. As you can see, it is a self-supporter, but it is also a guide self-supporter. I'm shooting this video from the new Asus Zen phone, which doesn't have the greatest telephoto. Future videos will be shot from my Pixel 7 Pro, which will do better on zoom. But this tower is a Crown Castle site that has Verizon at the top, and then Crow's Nest Broadband, our own equipment, and then ATT. What's interesting about this site is there is no fiber optic service available to be had. The lower backhaul there is AT&T's. They're backhauling in. The next backhaul up is Verizon's backhaul, and the two backhauls in the middle there are our own, bringing service to this tower. This tower has been upgraded. Both Verizon and AT&T have upgraded. AT&T has their traditional band 14, all the frequencies, 2, 5, 66, 14, and Verizon has their band 13, and of course their twin sector band 66. AT&T would also have their low band 5G and 5. And where we are at today is here's central Pennsylvania. You've got Lake Raystown right here, Huntington up here, you've got Mill Creek here, Mount Union. We're at the very point. I'll leave a description in the link with additional photos of the site, the ground space, and a link to its location. And for our testing rig here today, we have got a OnePlus 11 with T-Mobile. We've got AT&T in the S23 Ultra, and we've got Verizon here in a Google Pixel 7 Pro, and T-Mobile is not on this tower, of course. You can see we have LTE only. They're across the valley a little ways. They probably won't do very good. Looks like I'm seeing band 12. AT&T showing their N5, of course, and some LTE band 2 I see there. And then, of course, Verizon showing their band 66. So let's get to it here and do some speed tests. Alright, so let's start with Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T. I do generally let them use their default server. It gives you the best latency and the most bandwidth. From time to time, I'll test the other servers, but having a background and working the internet space, I can tell you that many speed test servers aren't fed with big enough pipes or enough bandwidth to accurately test. So I do like to use a carrier's own speed test server. All right, so Verizon is finished here. Again, they're wirelessly backhauling from a site down the road, which I'll get to in a bit. I'll probably include it in this video. 30 milliseconds of latency, 58 down, 50 up. T-Mobile, of course, is struggling. Their tower is miles away from here, down toward Mount Union, less than a meg. Not too bad latency considering the speed. And of course, AT&T here with their low-band 5G, 40 milliseconds of latency, 147 down, 31 up. So I will be at the other site, the site that Verizon is using to feed this site here in a bit. We'll add that one to the video as well. Located here in Huntington, near the north end of Lake Raystown on this strange guide self-support tower. All carriers are wirelessly backhauling. No fiber at this site. All right, we'll bring you this update from the S23 Ultra. We've got much better zoom here. Here you can see the guy wires for this tower. Very, very unique. I've been on many towers, and I have never seen anything like this. Crown Castle says it was needed for structural capacity. So there you can see the very old Verizon antennas, their new standard twin antenna, as I call it. You can see our equipment there as well, the horns, the backhauls, and then AT&T with their FirstNet panels, very common. And the backhauls, of course, there's Verizon's backhaul and AT&T's backhaul. So down to the ground space here, very traditional old Verizon wireless shelter with the gen set around the back. I think I went around the wrong way. Used to be Commonwealth, Pennsylvania. They're no longer there. And then AT&T. There you can see the other anchor for the guys. The AT&T generator. AT&T shelter. Looks like they have an alarm going off on their generator. And there you can see the exhaust for the Verizon generator. And then, of course, our equipment here as well. IO box, shelters, HVAC, camera. And there you go. Okay, one more video real quick, just for kicks and giggles. This is the inside of our shelter. Obviously, big battery system, lightning protection, power supplies, powering everything at the top of the tower, and fiber optic, 10 gig fiber optics going to the top of the tower, to the backhaul, to the switch. Very basic setup here, just a small site for us. And for those of you interested, this is being fed with a 1 gig backhaul from a tower upstream from here. So obviously there's some usage right now. We're not getting that full gig, but that is actually a 1 gig point-to-point circuit to our core in Altoona. So 3 milliseconds from here back to the tower where the fiber point-to-point is, across the fiber, back to our network. Most of that is actually on the fiber link. It is a TOS circuit from Verizon. So gig there. This backhaul that's here at this site is actually a 1.5 gig backhaul. So we would have more bandwidth if we chose to upgrade the fiber. So you can see we host our own speed test server with Ookla, and we also host our own speed test server with Ubiquiti. The Ubiquiti speed test was slightly less impressive for some reason, also higher latency. So I just figured we'd show you what we do while we're here. Okay, we're back. We're just a couple of miles further south on the east side of Lake Raystown. This is the tower that feeds the site we just came from for Verizon. There is a Verizon fiber pedestal there, and all that is on this site actually is Verizon and Crow's Nest Broadband. Myself, there's our backhaul feeding this site, and the Verizon antennas, and then the Verizon backhaul, and that's all that's here. So this is a Verizon site. I'm not even going to speed test the other carriers because they pretty much have no service here. Verizon does have band 13, band 66 here. And let's see. There you can see their band 66. And let's see what they do. We might have a bit of the umbrella effect going on here since we're directly underneath the site. So I will say that I can't show you this on this video. However, I've been inside the Verizon fiber cabinet here, and I do know that the Canoga-Perkins handoff for Verizon Wireless here is only on a gigabit port. So I know for a fact that Verizon does not have more than a gigabit of bandwidth between both these sites. So 104 on the down, 55 on the up, 29 milliseconds of latency. Now obviously this is, if I start it again here, you'll see this is only going to Altoona, and fiber route miles for Verizon from this site to Altoona is actually very, very close. I think it might hit 2 central offices between here and Altoona. So it is lit, it is not dark, it's being routed across Verizon Business's network for Verizon Wireless, but the reason you're seeing such good latency on LTE is because of how close we are to the Verizon Speedtest server here in Altoona. So it's not actually leaving Verizon's network. So there you go, another 105 down, 56 up, 30 milliseconds of latency on this rural site, mostly covering Lake Raystown, backhauling to the Mill Creek site, a couple of miles away, Crow's Nest Broadband, Verizon antennas. Happy speed testing. Talk to you next time.